On October 13, 1972, a Uruguayan Air Force plane carrying 45 people took off toward Chile. Most of the passengers were young rugby players. They were laughing, joking, completely unaware that within hours, half of them would be dead, and the survivors would face a choice so unthinkable, it would haunt the world forever. The plane flew over the Andes Mountains, one of the most dangerous ranges on Earth. Due to a navigation error, the pilots believed they had already cleared the mountains. They hadn't. Suddenly, the aircraft clipped a ridge. The wings were ripped off. The plane slammed into a glacier at over 350 kilometers per hour, skidding across ice before tearing apart. When the wreckage finally stopped, 12 people were already dead. Among the survivors was Fernando "Nando Parrado. But survival came at a devastating cost. Nando's mother died instantly. His sister was critically injured and would die days later, while Nando lay unconscious, unaware he was now completely alone. The survivors were stranded at over 11,000 feet, surrounded by endless white mountains. No food, no medical supplies. Temperatures dropped to -30 degrees Celsius at night. They rationed what little they had, chocolate, wine, crumbs. Within days, it was gone. Then the radio crackled. They heard the words that shattered all hope. The search for the missing plane has been called off. The world believed they were dead. One by one, people began to die, from injuries, cold, and starvation. And then came the unthinkable decision. To live, they would have to eat the bodies of the dead. There was no other food. No animals. No plants. Just ice. Human flesh became the only way to survive. Nando Parrado later said, "It wasn't cannibalism. It was survival." Then, on day 16, disaster struck again. An avalanche slammed into the wreckage while they slept. 8 more people were buried alive. By now, only 16 survivors remained. And they knew one thing. No one was coming. If they wanted to live, they had to walk out.
Several days passed and the survivors were trapped in the glacier valley. No food, no water. They had been surviving on the remains of the dead. Time was running out. People kept dying one after the other. They knew that if they wanted to live, they had to walk out. Nando Parrado, still grieving, malnourished, and weak, volunteered for what was essentially a suicide mission. With 2 others, he climbed into the mountains wearing makeshift clothing, carrying scraps of food made from human remains. After days of brutal climbing, one man turned back. Only Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa continued. They walked for 10 days across frozen peaks, barely sleeping, starving, hallucinating. Then, on December 20th, after 72 days in hell, they saw green grass, a man on horseback, civilization. Nando collapsed in tears. Rescue teams returned to the crash site. 16 people were pulled out alive. When the truth about survival cannibalism emerged, the world was shocked. But instead of condemnation, there was understanding, because faced with death, they chose life. Nando Parrado went on to become a motivational speaker. But he has said something chilling. The mountains decide who lives and who dies.